Hi everybody, welcome to the South Australian Sports Show. I hope you can stay with us for the next hour. We have got plenty coming up on the show and probably heading our sports show. One of the greatest cyclists of all time, Stewie O'Grady, is going to join us. And then we've got an absolute superstar gold medalist from the Commonwealth Games having a chat with us, as well as I welcome my co-hosts Greg Anderson and Barry Curtin. How are we, boys?
Good, mate.
I just saw the light on. I thought I'd pop in and say hello.
We appreciate you dropping in, mate. We don't normally see you in here. I know I've been away a bit, mate, but, appreciate you being so. Hey, let's get to the good news because we've got a lot to get through on this show, boys. Rugby Union, the Wallabies, back here after 18 years away from us.
Big crowd.
36,336. Saw the Aussies, well, they like to call themselves, of course, the Wallabies get over South Africa.
Yeah.
Women's game on before. The Wallaroos playing New Zealand, Ferns, that was great, but the crowd were passionate. I've spoken to some people and they went along, they said it was fantastic.
Yeah, well, it's a great venue for a start.
Isn't that interesting? Some of the people that went hadn't been to Adelaide Oval before because they're not footy fans, they're rugby fans. Sure. They went and said, I'm going to watch the footy. I just love the venue. They didn't really. It wasn't the game that got them; it was the venue.
Union's such a tough game too, isn't it? You know, it's a tough game, and it really is just full on. You know,
which one better for you, League or Union?
Oh, Union for me.
I'm a Union man. Yeah, I like Union. I've always liked the Wallabies. I think the Wallabies are one of the great Australian teams that haven't been all that flash in the last decade.
Yeah,
they're getting there.
They're coming back. Hey, just quickly, because we want to stay with good news. But when you watch the Union, of course, you get a bit more vision on the scrums. What's that like? Yeah. Have we seen that in footy a little bit now? Scrum, surge it forward, a bit more numbers around the ball.
Very much so. I mean, that's what.
Of course it is.
That's what Foxtel want, don't they? They want every player they can in that screen. That's what they want.
All right.
Don't want where the ball is.
All right. Other bit of good news, of course, the Crows secure with Thebarton Oval. Good news for the Crows finally get a home base.
That's an interesting one because John Olsen came out and said that was their first choice anyway. So. Where does the aquatic centre and the gasworks fit in all that?
Well, you have to have plan B and C.
Well, yeah.
Good news, mate. Come on, stay with me. Be positive.
I think it's great for them.
Be positive, but don't come out and say it was their first choice. But really, what it should have been.
So you're positive it's not their first choice?
No. What it should have been was their first choice.
Yes.
They should have done this a few years ago.
Okay.
But the thing that's disappointing about that, I know this is good news. This is no licensed club still.
Yeah, well, I think
why, Phil? Tell me why.
I don't know. Maybe they'll get there eventually.
Over time.
They'll get there eventually.
Great for their reserve side as well.
Yep.
Because they always play away.
Yep.
So at least they've got a home ground now, which is really important.
That's good news that they finally found a home. Yeah,
Andrew Bradley, of course, for Glenelg, played his 200th game for the Tigers, the 26th Tiger to reach.
And a big win too. Yeah. Fantastic.
Mate, I don't know if you read the article on the weekend on his career. Broken collarbones, broken feet, broken leg in his first game. To get to 200, nearly thought about retiring. Stoney at the time that went on to win a premiership. Coach talked him out of it.
Brilliant.
So well done to Andrew. Bathurst 1000 boys champion Lee Holdsworth announced he's going to retire from the supercars at the end of this year. He's one of only 11 drivers to have raced in 500 of these races. Okay. His last race, which will be 504, Adelaide. December.
Wow.
So we get to see the great man finish up here.
Bathurst is one of my favourite events. Without a shadow of a doubt. Bathurst is great. I sit there in the morning, bang, that's it. Leave me alone. I'm there for the 6 hours. But there's a thing on YouTube at the moment called This is Mount Panorama, This is Bathurst. It's a reaction video to Mark Larkham, former driver. Yep. Anybody who's a motor racing enthusiast should watch that because the way he describes it is unbelievable. It is. I was absolutely transfixed. I could not get away from the screen watching it. It was brilliant.
How long does it go for?
Not long, mate. No. It's only I don't know. It'd be 5, 7 minutes.
Bit of spine tingler, is it? Bit of a spine tingler?
Exactly. It's the hairs on the back of your neck. No, it seriously is.
You don't understand I laughed straight away at the hair joke?
No, I did.
Straight away, just started laughing.
Well, we did too.
I reckon you'd be dangerous when that happens. The things on the back of his neck. Oh, very, very dangerous.
Yeah, would you know what's happening on the back of your neck, mate? It's too big a lot.
The hair on the back of my neck, not the hairs. Well done. Bringing him in the line.
He's not bad, is he?
All right. That's worth the view.
Definitely worth the view. We need to get over to Millie for the news, of course. Quickly, just coming up before we go to Millie, Ray O'Donnell's going to join us from the Cove Footy Club, talk about the finals in the SAFL. Luke Macchiaro is going to be in, of course, talk about the finals on the weekend and what's coming up this weekend for the SANFL. Stewie O'Grady. We're going to catch up with Stewie, you and James Fantasia. Ando and I'll take a little break, of course. Lee Hoffman is our gold medalist from the Commonwealth Games, going to join us, and there's still plenty to talk about. Millie, what have you got for us on the sporting news?
Well, Phil, it sure has been a great week in the sporting world where we have celebrated many milestones and big wins for our Aussies this week. Finals footy was officially underway in every division of the Adelaide Football League over the weekend, with special mention to PAC Division 1, who managed to boot out St Peter's College for top spot, winning by 36 points. As every Adelaide resident knows, it was the game of all games for the intercall rivals, and the tension was looming. Saints got off to the better start on home soil, booting 3 goals with Jock McLeay and Jake Sutcliffe up front, but PAC soon gained dominance through the middle, with Jack Trengrove stepping up to the contest. Trengrove, Sam Buckham and Chris Curran were all at their best as PAC kicked 4 goals to the Saints 1 in the second term and again in the fourth quarter to seal an impressive win. PAC coach Craig Pitt says he was proud of his team's efforts and hopes they can channel it into the semi-finals, which kicks off this weekend. It was, however, a disappointing start to the AFLW season for both South Australian teams, with Port Adelaide falling short to West Coast by 22 points and the Adelaide Crows losing to Melbourne by 18 points. The Eagles kicked 4 unanswered goals in the final quarter to overturn a 2-goal deficit, turning the match on its head. Port Adelaide captain Erin Phillips was pretty quiet though on the field during the match, only scoring 2 possessions in the first half and finishing with 10 disposals and 3 clearances to her name. This weekend will be the first opportunity for Port Adelaide fans to see the women's team live in action tomorrow afternoon, so head on over to Alberton Oval to support the team. The game concluded with a final score of 40-28. The Wallabies have instilled a new hope for supporters after an 8-point win over the world champion South Africa at Adelaide Oval last week. After coming back from a humiliating 48-17 loss in Argentina, the Wallabies scored 3 tries to 2, with open side flanker Fraser McWright claiming a double. The win continued with the desolation for the Springboks in Australia, with the Wallabies unbeaten in the past 8 clashes between the two sides at home. Australia are currently level with Argentina on 9 points on the tournament standings, but Argentina hold top spot on points difference following their upset win over the All Blacks in Christchurch. The Wallabies and the Springboks meet again tomorrow night at the redeveloped Sydney Football Stadium, which is sure to be a clanger of a match, so be sure to be watching. The career of Aussie F1 driver Daniel Ricciardo is in limbo after his contract with McLaren will be terminated at the end of the 2022 season. Ricciardo was in points contention before a team decision to undercut with teammate Lando Norris late in the race backfired, with the pain tumbling down and ending in the bottom 15. Former boss Christian Horner says that Ricciardo was barely unrecognisable from the man that drove Red Bull between 2014 to 2018, suggesting his F1 career may be over by the end of the year. That said though, Alpine, Alfa Romeo and Williams still have seats to fill, so a move for the driver could be on the cards. As Ricciardo departs from McLaren, Oscar Piastri is expected to be named as his replacement, meaning there still will be at least one Australian on the grid for 2023. That is all the news I have for you this week. Now, let's stay tuned, guys, because we have a very special interview coming up next with James Fantasia, who sat down with ex-Olympian Stuart O'Grady, so you won't want to miss it. I'm Millie Walters and we'll be right back for more on the SA Sports Show.